Hello guys, welcome to the channel once more. Those who are joining us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you found it useful. So today we have a 2000 Chevy Cavalier LS. As you can see, it hasn't had any real love or attention in a long time. Parked under a tree, you can see where you have the air vent intake. It's all covered with leaves, debris, uh, pine needles, all kinds of nasty stuff. And this is has accumulated over a period of many years. Engine itself is covered in dust. You can see some oil on the head of the engine. It just looks nasty. It looks nasty overall. So this car will need some kind of love. It will need some kind of help. So this is just a general survey. When you're doing a job like this, you have to remember electrical parts like the alternator that sits on the top left. Those have to be protected. You don't want to use any soap or solvent on there because it takes away the grease that goes on the bearings. And shortly after that, those parts would fail. You also have some electrical parts that you have to protect. But in this case, what we're doing is we're just doing a quick clean up of the engine bay. So we will not be taking any specific or particular precaution apart from avoiding hitting the alternator with a jet of soapy water. Regular water, yes, you can heat it because the grease won't be lost. So we start off by doing the vacuum. As you can see, we have all of those plant material, the organic material. Vacuum as much as we can out. The nozzle is not the best. I think in retrospect, hindsight is 2020. I should have taken off that end cap and just used the regular hose. But I wasn't sure what I was doing. So let's start by vacuuming all the bits we can get. It takes a few minutes, but slowly you can see we're getting the debris that you have there, mostly plant material. Vehicle was parked underneath a tree for many years with minimal use. So slowly we're cleaning out everything. If you want to see how dramatic just the vacuuming is, then go back to the beginning and you can see that from the photographs I took, how much more cleaner the engine looks with all of those the plant material gone. Step back a little bit, you see it already starts looking nice, much nicer, much nicer. And there, those what you see there are the intakes for the cabin ventilation system. Just try to vacuum as much as I could. And then next we pulled it into the car wash bay. Open up the engine again. You can see most of the plant material is gone, but then the engine is still covered in a thick layer of dust that has accumulated there from the year 2000. And this is December 2019, so about 19 years later. And I bet you that engine has never been washed. So what I do is I feed the machine. Some car washes would have an engine cleaner. You could use that, but just bear in mind you have to be very careful because the detergent used for the engine cleaner is quite aggressive and it could actually penetrate some of your electrical connections. This car wash actually just had a regular soap function, which is what I chose first. And you would have the soap coming out from the wand, not from the brush. And the soap is the water is a little bit warmer than the outside temperature for sure. And then it also has soap, so that helps to cut down some of the dirt and oily residue. So that's the soapy water. Just use it, blow out everything, get everything soaked first, and avoid blasting the alternator directly. Other thing you have to be careful about and mindful of is that I kept the engine running. So when you have the engine running, it generates heat, and that heat helps with getting the water evaporated. If you shut down your engine, you could get in bad luck and try to start, and the car won't start anymore. So as you can see, it's steaming right now because the engine is warm, and we definitely need that heat to keep the water warm and evaporating. So it's soapy water, and one of the main premises for this video is just to show how much you can get your car clean, your engine bay clean, without having to detail the engine compartment, scrub through there. So that's the high pressure soap, and I'm not using any much more elbow grease. Just, you just use the soapy water, and it cuts down the grease. The water is also warm, which helps to loosen up the grease. If you notice, I avoid hitting the alternator directly because the alternator spins and it's got bearings in there and it's all degreased. If you force soapy water in there, it's gonna wash off the bearings, wash off the oil, lubricant, and then within a very short order, you have your alternator fail on you. Remember, this is high pressure soapy water, and after so much, I have about 2 minutes 22 seconds left. A whole total for about $2.50 was about 4 minutes. You don't need much longer than that, so there I'm just getting some of the leaves and debris that came from the engine compartment off the vehicle. Just clean, blasting some of around the vehicle. And remember that soapy water, you always want to rinse it off before it continues chewing through your paint and clear coat and whatever you have on your body. Already you can start seeing the difference. We're running out of time, 1 minute 33 seconds, and now we go to the rinse. Take off all the soap, or as much of the soap as we can. So this is plain water. I don't worry too much about heating the alternator with this. This just helps to get off the soap, because if you leave the soapy water on there, it dries out and then it leaves some kind of nasty residue. Spray. Get off some of the dirt, get off some of the soapy water. And like I said, I'm not scared to power wash the engine. If this were at home, some of those pressure washers, they are very powerful, and if you're home, you might just go without any sense of time constraint, and it makes you go through aggressive, and then you wash off all the grease and then you end up with problems. This one, I was timed. It's 4 minutes, so I knew that would be my cue. If my time is up, I know, okay, well, my 4 minutes are up. So just getting some of the dirt off. And finally, we're gonna switch to, oh, I believe we're done. So I might have been using the wax on that very last sequence. And that's what the engine looks like. Remember, after you rinse your engine or your body of your car, try to use the wax, because what the wax does is it places this slight protective layer on the engine, and that way next time you have to wash it's way easier. We jump back inside. Gonna pull out. We're backing up the car. Remember, throughout the process, I left the engine running. You want to leave your engine running. Avoid your alternator. You don't want to get your alternator too soapy or wet. So it's critical. Otherwise, your alternator is going to fail in short order. So what happened is I left the vehicle running, and that generates heat underneath the hood, and it gets all the water dried out, all the water evaporated, and that way you don't have issues with misfiring or your vehicle running rough or even dying on you or not starting. Leave your engine running when you're doing this process. Only took me like 4 minutes. $2.50. I don't know how much it might cost to wash a car in your neck of the woods. So we're gonna park the car right here, open up the hood, and take a quick look, see what it looks like. Right there, park. And then we're gonna jump out, open up the hood, take a look. So that's what the engine looks like after cleaning. You can notice all the plant material that was on the vents, everything is gone. Sorry I closed the hood on you guys, but I'll show you another shot. I took a couple of pictures. That's what the engine looks like. So much more cleaner, easier to work on, easier to check the fluid levels. You can just see like the brake fluid right there without having to open up the brake fluid compartment or reservoir. It just looks so much nicer. The battery, everything is accessible, not oily, not covered in dust. It just makes such a world of a difference. And yeah, if you want your vehicle well maintained, that's how you want your engine compartment to look. All the 19 years of crud gone within 4 minutes. And again, like I said, you just leave the engine running. That way it gets everything dried out, and maybe after about 30 minutes, just go for a nice long drive. 30 minutes, everything is dried out, and you are assured that when you shut the engine down and start it up, it's gonna start. I didn't do any scrubbing, so you still see some areas that have a little bit of dirt, like the hood. Underneath the hood, you can see where there's some muddy stains. But the engine itself, it looks so much more better and accessible. You can see where every part is. Thanks for watching, and guys, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.